Welcome to Mr. Koops's Social Studies 30 class on Canadian Studies. The topic today will be models of acculturation or cultural relationships. We've looked at enculturation, acculturation, and cultural diffusion as terms. However, we can look further into acculturation because there are predictable patterns that arise when two cultures have a relationship. These patterns can create models of acculturation whereby we can predict what will happen when two cultures meet.
The first model of acculturation that we'll look at is segregation. This is where one culture will not want contact with another culture. This main culture will try to isolate the minority culture. We have a number of examples of this throughout history. In South Africa, we have apartheid. In Canada, we had the reserve system with the pass and permit, and of course, the segregation in America.
The second model of acculturation is annihilation. This is where one culture will try to eliminate another culture either through genocide or cultural annihilation. Genocide is the killing of an ethnic group of people. For example, in history, we had the Nazis' final solution for the Jewish people. And cultural annihilation is the systemic destruction of a group of people's identity through the prohibition of use of customs and languages. So, in the past, Canada's government suppressed the cultural practices of First Nations people.
The third model of acculturation is assimilation. This is where one culture will absorb the other culture into the mainstream group. In Canada, this was the purpose of residential schools. And enfranchisement. Enfranchisement is the process by which a First Nations person in Canada could give up their Indian status to be able to vote or to serve in the army.
The fourth and final model of acculturation is accommodation.
This is where two cultures will try to learn from each other and have a mutually beneficial relationship. This is the goal of multiculturalism in Canada. And in Canadian history, this was the relationship between the first European settlers and First Nations people, whereby they would be neighbors living together but separately, each having a mutual beneficial relationship with the other. In summary, acculturation is the relationship between two cultures which follow predictable patterns. There are four models of acculturation. They are segregation, annihilation, assimilation, and accommodation. Please complete the video reflection for this lecture.